Hello everyone, very good evening. Am I clearly audible and visible to you? So aspirants who are there in the session, please comment below that my voice is clearly audible to you and the screen is clearly visible so that we can start our discussions about a very important topic, right? So am I clearly audible and visible? Is everything fine? How your life is going on? How's your preparation going on? Can you please comment below so that I'll be aware about the things? So, in today's session, we are going to start our discussion about a very important topic that is the types of farming system. We are aware about farming system, but what are the different types of farming system that are followed in our country and what are the advantages and the disadvantages of a certain farming system? All these things will be cleared in today's session. So, aspirants who are there in the session, please comment below that my voice is clearly audible to you and the screen is clearly visible so that we can do our discussion for today's session. Is everything fine? Yes. Can you hear me? All right. So let's start our discussion about the types of farming system. Okay, there are different organizations, there are different ways to define the term farming system. And after that, there are different ways to classify the farming system that are followed in our country, right? So you might have the direct question from this portion. If you are aware about the terms, you will be capable of answering all the questions from this particular set. Okay. And other than that, aspirants, yeah, this is a batch for you. So whosoever want to target the NABARD Grade A 2025, please be the part of this batch and start your preparations with us. All the descriptive and all the comprehensive preparation, all the classes are available for you for better preparation in this batch. Be the part of this batch and start your preparations with us. And this batch will include all these following features. Okay, so make sure you enroll in the batch in a certain like आप टाइमली बैच में एनरोल कर लोगे तो आप रेगुलरली क्लासेस को लाइव अटेंड कर पाओगे और अपने सभी डाउट्स को यू विल बी कैपेबल ऑफ clearing in the live sessions. Okay, other than that, yeah, this is an important feature which is available on for you on the application of Oliveboard. So for this particular feature you have to update your application. Okay, so after updating your application, you will be capable of utilizing all these important features that will help you to do your preparations in a better manner. Like you will be capable of highlighting the important sections of the notes, you will be capable of adding comments there, enabling the dark modes, and you can add the audio notes also for your faster revisions. Okay, so make sure you will utilize all these features. And with that, you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will get the notification because most of the students after the classes they keep on asking me कि मैम हमें तो information ही नहीं मिलता है कि when you had your live class कब आपकी live class थी और कब you are going to study you are going to teach you all these things. ठीक है, तो timely सब्सक्राइब करोगे चैनल को ये सारा इन्फॉर्मेशन तुम्हें टाइमली मिलेगा एंड यू विल बी कैपेबल ऑफ डूइंग योर प्रिपरेशंस विद आवर टीम. ऑलराइट, now let's start our topic that is a farming system. Generally for the layman, for the farmer who are not from like जो आपका प्रोफेशनली एग्रीकल्चर सब्जेक्ट है बैकग्राउंड है इफ दे आर नॉट फ्रॉम देम सो दे विल सिंपली थिंक कि हाउ फार्मिंग सिस्टम खेती बाड़ी. But when we have to introduce the technical term in it, हमें इनको differentiate करना है and on the basis of the differentiations we will have to इनके अंदर new features को add on करना, उसके advantages को study करना and disadvantages को study करना. It's very important because it is mentioned in your syllabus. तो जो technical knowledge ज़रूरी है, right? और हर एक term का देखो एक तो local meaning होता है that the meaning that everyone knows. There is some genuine meaning or a technical meaning, right? So here we are going to discuss about all these technical terms and the technical concepts. Okay, so what is a farming system? If anyone asks you to define what is a farming system, so you have to define it as it's a population of individual farm systems. Okay, so there are individual farm systems that have broadly similar resources base, like they are utilizing the same inputs, they are ahead following or they are following an enterprise pattern. Okay, there's household livelihoods is depending upon this particular farm system and there are some constraints that have to be worked upon for which similar development strategies and interventions would be appropriate, right? So this particular kind of system will be defined as a farming system जिसमें resource base है, enterprise pattern is followed there, and all over the household of the people who are connected with this particular resource base, they have to earn their livelihood from there. And yeah, when you are utilizing a certain resources, obviously एक point पे कुछ constraints will be created. So in the farming system you have to use some integrated practices to solve out the constraints जो भी वहाँ पे create हो रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो that is a farming system. तो ये तो हो गया थोड़ा technical definition which was given by Food and Agricultural Organization. Now let's talk about farming system in a more simple manner. So it is considered as an appropriate combination of farm enterprises. Okay, the farm enterprises are combined in an appropriate manner, and in that you might have the agricultural crop, you might have the livestock like the animal rearing is there, poultry is there, fishery is there, forestry practices or the large trees are also growing there, and the means available to the farmer to raise them for increasing productivity. So why the farmers are following a specific type of farming system? So that he will have a good productivity out of the land area he is having, right? So इसलिए ही कोई farmer जो होता है एक specific farming system को follow करता है. Now, yeah, what are the different factors that can affect the specific kind of farming system? अब एक specific kind of farming system को follow करने की बात कर रहे हैं, but you are not capable of utilizing all the resources, all the enterprises और जो भी facilities हैं उस farming system की क्या किस reasons की वजह से क्या क्या factors हैं? Yeah, one is the water surface. As in our yesterday class, we talk about the annual groundwater quality report. So वहाँ से भी हमें पता लगा कि groundwater that is available for the plant, that is very useful to the plant. अगर वो available ही नहीं रहेगा, तो the farming system that you want to install there, you will not be capable of installing it, right? And groundwater level. अवेलेबल लैंड कितना है ग्रेजिंग एनिमल्स के लिए और आपके क्रॉप्स के कल्टीवेशन के लिए. फॉरेस्ट वेजिटेशंस, ओके, वेजिटेशंस क्या क्या, तो दिस वन इज आल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर. क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन ऑफ द एरिया लाइक द टेम्परेचर ऑफ द एरिया, रेनफॉल पैटर्न ऑफ द एरिया. सो दीज आर आल्सो द फैक्टर्स जो कि हमारे फार्मिंग सिस्टम को अफेक्ट करते हैं. Topography like the steepness of the slope, the elevation of the area, that also affect the farming system. And dominate farm activities like ये जो activities prevailed होती हैं in farming system में कि which particular field crop you are growing और उसका nutrient requirement क्या है, livestock if you are raising like which particular pattern you are following to raise the livestock there, tree is it, aquaculture, hunting and gathering, processing and off farm activities. So all these are the factors जो कि आपके farming system को affect कर सकते हैं, समझे? So whosoever are there in the session, please comment below कि जो मैंने अभी आपको समझाया है this particular portion is clear to you. Is it clear? Right? Next हम बात करते हैं about these are the different types of farming systems. So we have to discuss about all these farming systems mentioned here, right? So under this specific classification criteria, we have these 4 bases on which we have to classify the farming system that is being to be followed. So firstly, we'll talk about the based on nature and the purpose of farming, like why you are doing the farming practices and what kind of farming practices you are following. So first is about the nature and the purpose of farming practices that you are following. So on this basis, you have 4 different types of farming systems. Subsistence farming, up you can ask a question, ma'am, subsistence farming क्या रहता है? So I'll tell you, right? I'll explain all these things to you. Commercial farming systems, intensive farming systems, and extensive farming systems. So this one is a one criteria to classify the farming system on the basis of which type of farming practices you are following and what's the purpose of farming. Okay, next you have indigenous farming system, like they are the age-old practices that they are following in an area. So under this, we have 2 types of farming system. One is the shifting cultivation and second is the tongia cultivation. Other than that, we have one farming system which is based on the value of the produce and the income कि जो आपको produce वहाँ से obtain हो रहा है, the final output that you are receiving from your land, and after selling it, what would be your income? ठीक है, और क्या output that you are obtaining from there. So on that basis, the farming system is classified into 3 categories: specialized farming system, diversified farming system, and mixed farming system. Now, next is about on the basis of cultivation. राइट, किस तरह से आप क्रॉप्स को कल्टीवेट कर रहे हो और किस तरह का पैटर्न यू आर फॉलोइंग ऑन अ पीस ऑफ लैंड. ऑन दैट बेसिस देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ फार्मिंग सिस्टम. One is a collective farming system and second is a cultivation farming system. माने clear? अब we have to discuss about each and everything in detail. ठीक है, ये हमारे total farming system रहते हैं. And aspirants, trust me, you will definitely have one or two question MCQ format में आपके फेज 1 की बात कर रही हूँ फ्रॉम दिस पोर्शन, राइट, फार्मिंग सिस्टम, क्योंकि यहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा कंफ्यूजिंग डेफिनेशंस रहती हैं. इसीलिए मैं बहुत रिसर्च करके आई एम कवरिंग ऑल द इम्पोर्टेंट सेगमेंट्स विच आर इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर यू. ठीक है, वही वही सेगमेंट्स को निकाल निकाल के पूरा सिलेबस में से मैं यूट्यूब पर आप लोग के लिए सेशंस लेकर आ रही हूँ, क्योंकि ये पोर्शंस ऐसे हैं दैट विल डेफिनेटली फॉर्म और हेल्प यू टू गेट गुड मार्क्स इन फेज 1 एज वेल एज इन फेज 2. Phase 2 में descriptive में they will also help, right? So based on nature and purpose of farming, अब yeah, first criteria is nature and purpose of farming के basis पर if we have to classify, तो on that basis हमारे पास I told you there are two types of farming system, right? अब ये जो two types of farming system we have, पहला subsistence farming, four types sorry, four type में subsistence farming के if we talk about, so इसमें क्या किया जाता है, the main practice that is followed in subsistence farming is कि जो land area है that is quite less, right? So entire production that will be obtained from this land area will be utilized by the family of the farmers only. Farmers की family ही सभी resources को utilize करेगी जो भी यहाँ से obtain होगा. And the practice of growing crops and raising livelihood sufficient only for one's own use without, because they are not having enough resources, inputs नहीं दे सकते हैं, and other than that and that's how जो भी product होगा वो market में surplus trade के लिए नहीं जा रहा, it will be utilized by the farmer's family only. Okay, so this is a subsistence farming. Okay, next we are, what are the disadvantages of subsistence farming? So first is obviously land area कम है, you are not aware about the technology, you are not utilizing them all the resources or technology, so productivity will be quite less. One disadvantage of this system. Inputs and markets accessibility is very low, right? And vulnerable, whatever the crops you are cultivating here, as you are not aware about the technologies and you are not connected with the different groups that can help you in knowing about कि अगर कोई climatic या फिर environmental shock होगा तो कैसे you can prevent yourself from that, तो vulnerable हो. Income and is very low. You had the limited opportunities for diversification and land degradation and deforestation will be there. Okay, so that's how these are the disadvantages of subsistence farming. What are the different advantages of subsistence farming? Here, the influence of market forces on the crop production pattern is insignificant. Okay, so that is quite low, right? So market forces, yeah, because you are not selling the products on the market, so the influence of market force on the crop production pattern is also not good. एक pressure is not there on the farmer, so obviously they will not do more hard work. तो एक ये advantages रहता है कि कोई influence नहीं होता market forces का. Food security will be there for the farmer family, like the farmer is producing that much amount of food which will be sufficient for his family for the year long, right? And here the farmer is utilizing all the resources from the natural background only. So he is trying to maintain the natural fertility of the soil. Traditional knowledge will be preserved and environmental stability or sustainability will be maintained and low financial risk will be there and contribution to local economies, like they are not selling it to the market, so that's how they are contributing to the local economies of the area. Okay. Second is about commercial farming. What you are doing in commercial farming? So here you are doing the agriculture practices. Your main motive of following the agriculture practices on your piece of land is to sell out the product, whatever you will obtain, right? So under commercial agriculture, thousands of acres of products such as millets, cocoa, banana, rice, sugarcane, tea, and other products are harvested. They will be harvested from the field area and then they will be sold in the market or they will be exported to the other countries also. Main objective of doing the agriculture practices on the farmland is to obtain maximum output from the area, और maximum output obtain करने के लिए farmer और ये जो set of people है, they will do anything, right, without thinking about the soil more. Okay, so here what is the disadvantages of this commercial farming? आप नेचुरल रेन फॉरेस्ट को डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहे हो, यू आर कन्वर्टिंग द फॉरेस्ट लैंड इनटू द एग्रीकल्चर लैंड बिकॉज यू वांट टू ऑब्टेन अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स आउट ऑफ देयर एंड यू हैव टू सेल इट टू द मार्केट, राइट? Okay, and to get good productivity, you will use a chemical fertilizer, so that is a disadvantage. Other than that, required preservation techniques. You need to do some preservation techniques, like whatever the products you had obtained, you have to store it, you have to preserve it तब तक वो market में sale ना हो जाए. तो for that पैसा लगेगा काफी. High capital will be needed for production. So these are the disadvantages. What would be the advantages? अब आप फार्म लैंड को केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर डाल रहे हो, सभी बेसिक फैसिलिटीज, एडवांस फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड कर रहे हो, तो ऑब्वियसली प्रोडक्शन विल बी मोर. मेकेनाइजेशन या फार्म मेकेनाइजेशन के लिए दे आर मिशंस. सो ऑब्वियसली इधर इस एरिया में मशीनरी एंड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का प्रॉपर यूटिलाइजेशन रहेगा and the resources will be easily accessible to everyone. It can create vacancies there, like आपको वर्कर चाहिए, लेबर, आपको स्किल लेबर चाहिए, सो वैकेंसीज क्रिएट होगा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट होगा. साथ साथ में प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट इनिशियली इट विल बी हाई, लेकिन अगर आप कीप ऑन आपने अपने लैंड को इस हिसाब से प्रिपेयर कर लिया तो इट विल बी लोअर. और मेन सोर्स ऑफ रो प्रोडक्शन. सो जो भी आपके एग्रो बेस्ड इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनके लिए जो रो मटेरियल जाता है वो कमर्शियल फार्मिंग के ही तो प्रोडक्ट होते हैं. ठीक है, तो दीज आर सम एडवांटेजेस ऑफ कमर्शियल फार्मिंग. समझे? नेक्स्ट वी हैव एक्सटेंसिव फार्मिंग. नाउ व्हाट इज इट? एक्सटेंसिव फार्मिंग, sorry. Next we have intensive farming. Now what is the meaning of intensive farming and why we are talking about it? So it is basically a farming practice that you are doing so that you will obtain maximum output per unit of land. So the farms are usually small, wherein high inputs of money, labor or technology is used to achieve high outputs or yield from unit area of land. ठीक है, आपने high input दिया और with that you will get high outputs out of it. So that is the intensive farming, right? आपका objective ये है, the piece of land that you are having, you have to give excess of raw material so that you will get excess of output from there. So this is intensive farming. What are the advantages and the disadvantages are? सबसे पहले तो disadvantage यही रहेगा कि आपको high input देना पड़ रहा है. Obviously cost of cultivation will be high. You need to go for like effective irrigation practices there, manure, fertilizer, and you have to use a high yielding seeds because your objective is already specified कि you have to obtain good productivity from there. Okay. Intensive farming may pose problems like soil erosion and soil exhaustion. If you keep on practicing applying a lot of fertilizer on a piece of land and आपके crop harvest के बाद अगर आप उसको ऐसे ही छोड़ दोगे, ठीक है, फ्री, तो soil erosion आपका topmost fertile soil को ले जाएगा and soil may be exhausted excessive fertilizer के use की वजह से. So these are the disadvantages of intensive farming. What are the advantages of intensive farming? एक तो यही रहेगा कि आपका हाई यील्ड ऑब्टेन होगा पर हेक्टेयर, वाइड वेराइटी ऑफ क्रॉप्स आप रेज कर सकते हो और साथ साथ में फूड क्रॉप्स एंड द कैश क्रॉप्स आर ग्रोन, हेंस मार्जिनल प्रॉफिट्स विल बी इंक्रीज्ड. ओके, नेक्स्ट अब आ रहा है एक्सटेंसिव फार्मिंग. सो एक्सटेंसिव फार्मिंग इज अ मेथड ऑफ फार्मिंग दैट एम्प्लॉयज लार्ज एग्रीकल्चरल मशीनरी. सो व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इन दिस लार्ज एग्रीकल्चरल मशीनरी, chemical fertilizer, pesticides and agriculture resource, right? And you are utilizing huge capital also. So where huge cultivable lands are available, there's low population density. ऐसे areas जहाँ पे population density is quite low, like we are talking about Australia and other such regions जहाँ पे population is quite low, agricultural land available is quite high, and you have all these resources available to you which you can install in your field. So at that time the farming practices followed will be extensive farming practices. Clear? Advantages of this farming practices is total production, large huge cultivable area is available, so obviously production will be quite large. Farmers will get handsome income out of it. Production cost that will be, अगर हम count करेंगे तो that will be low, and marginal profits that the farmer will receive that will be quite high. Disadvantages, what are the different disadvantages of extensive farming? One is that, yeah, it's a capital intensive. You need to use a good mechanization tools there. You are following good technology, modern technology. So obviously your capital intensive. Initial cost investment is quite high. Dearth of skilled agricultural labor often pose a problem in these. देखो, I told you कि extensive farming will be followed in the areas where there is low population density. So population density कम है तो हमेशा skilled agricultural labor का shortage रहेगा. तो ये एक problem यहाँ पे है, right? Next is based on value of the produce and income, like what type of produce you are receiving, or income, how much income you are obtaining. On that basis, we have three different types of farming practices. One is the specialized farming. So what is it? So farm in which 50% or more income of total crop production is derived from a single crop. So there are so many crops on a farmland, but 50% और उससे ज़्यादा जो production obtain हो रहा है, that is giving the main livelihood, which is obtaining from only a single crop. Main objective behind specialized farming is to generate more income, and it depends upon like best suited to suitable specific soil, climatic conditions, topography, and other physical conditions such as market type. So if all these important objectives आपके satisfy हो रहे, तो then that time you can go for specialized farming on a piece of land. Okay. Next we have diversified farming. So what you are doing in a diversified farming, like it's a collection of technique and equipment designed to provide food in a sustainable manner by utilizing the ecological diversity at the plot, field, and landscape dimensions. What you are doing in diversified farming, there are various production activities or income streams. Okay, बहुत farmer के पास, farmer is not relying on a single source. He have multiple sources available for him that can help him to get good income, but none of them is generating more than 50% of the overall income. And it is also known as general farming. Okay, so that diversified farming, then another name of diversified farming is general farming. And what, like here you can see, this is a specific example of diversified farming where crop production, dairy, poultry, fishing, fruit production, and sheep farming, all the different practices are performed on a same piece of land. Next, we have the mixed farming. Next we have the mixed farming. Like mixed farming is a kind of cultivating that includes both the harvesting of crop and raising of animals. So in this, what is the main thing? Like what are the main sources of income for the farmer? Like he is depending upon the crop he is raising, whatever the product that he will obtain harvesting, after harvesting the crop, and the raising of the animal, right? So this is a mixed farming. So it carried across Asia and the nations like India, Afghanistan, South Africa, Malaysia, Indonesia, China, Canada, Central Europe, Russia, and it usually serves for domestic utilization in basically in most of the nations mixed farming आपके domestic utilization के लिए perform किया जाता है. And for example, Japan and the United States of America currently use it for business purposes, ensure the development of yield and the raising of animals for meat or eggs or milk exercise this particular mixed cultivation. कि आप किस specific purpose के लिए mixed cultivation practices को follow कर रहे हो, where rearing of animal, raising of animals, and the harvesting of crops both are going hand in hand. Okay. Next, what are the different benefits of mixed farming? अगर हम mixed farming के benefits की बात करें, so at the time it comes up shorts or cost change, farmers can rely upon animals. So this is a one and the utmost importance of the mixed farming. कि if in case it happens that the crop that the farmer is cultivating, it is not capable of giving that much yield जब आप उसको harvest कर रहे हो, तो farmer have another like backup plan. He can rely on the animals, right? And farmers get pay persistently. If animal raising is directed over time, the farmers pay pay stays stable. Pay increases, mixed pay from selling crop को भी sale कर रहा है, same time पे he is selling the animal items also. So that's how the farmer occupied it consistently. And after the gathering, the farmer's focus is on raising animals that guarantee solid pay and utilizing extra crop as grain sets aside cash for purchasing it. Utilizing compost from creatures guarantees supported harvest creations and sets aside cash that would be used to purchase fertilizer. So that's how he is earning in such a manner, like whatever the product he is obtaining, he can utilize the product like अपने फार्मर की अपने फार्म फील्ड की फैसिलिटीज को एनहेंस करने के लिए, इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, साथ साथ में टू अर्न द लाइवलीहुड फॉर हिज फैमिली, अपने फैमिली के लिए लाइवलीहुड अर्न कर रहा है और साथ साथ में अलग अलग इंपॉर्टेंट जो भी उसको इनपुट चाहिए अपने फार्म फील्ड में वो भी परचेज कर पा रहा है, राइट? Now, based on cultivation, so on the basis of cultivation, we are dividing this farming system into the different categories. Like, so what are these different categories we have? So here we have the collective farming. Collective farming and the communal farming are various types of, like here we have the agricultural production in which multiple farmers run their holdings as a joint enterprise. ठीक है, एक आपका जो specific land area है. Under this, what is happening, like agriculture production in which multiple farmers are working there in a combined manner, so that is a collective farming. Okay, next we have the cultivation farming where farmers cultivate the land for growing crops and rearing livestock. Okay, so here what the farmers are doing, the cultivable practices they are following, and there they are following the practices for obtaining the agriculture crops out of it and for rearing their livestock from there. Okay, so this is the another a category of farming system on the basis of cultivation. Okay, next is let's talk about the based on indigenous farming system. So here we have two types of farming system. One is the shifting cultivation and second is our Tongia cultivation. So what happened in the shifting cultivation? Yeah, if we talk about the shifting cultivation practice that is followed, so under this, it refers to the farming system in north. Basically, this farming system is followed in the northeastern areas, right, in which land under vegetation is cleared by. So slash and burn method is usually followed there, right? Traditionally, the fallow period, like जब आप अपने crop को उस लैंड एरिया को अनकल्टिवेटेड रखते हो तो दैट इज ट्रेडिशनली इट इज 10 to 20 years, but in recent time it is reduced to 2 to 3 years. So shifting cultivation has contributed to both positive and the negative. So because of that आपके environment पे positive impact भी हो रहा है, negative impact भी हो रहा है. On the positive side, what is basically happening, its practice reduces intensity of land use and so reduces the rate of environmental degradation. Whereas if we talk about the negative effect of shifting cultivation, so soon after, if we keep on doing this kind of practices on the piece of land, what will happen, the soil will lose its fertility. It can accelerate deforestation, like cutting of trees and all, and so if and out of control forest fires. So if you are doing all this practice slash and burn practices को if you keep on following, तो आपके जो forest fires के events है वो out of control हो जाएंगे. So this is also a type of farming system, basically in indigenous farming system, right? Another one we have the Tongia cultivation or the Tongia farming system. So what happens basically, scientifically managed, right? So this particular Tongia cultivation system is majorly originated from Burma, Myanmar, right? And it is also known as hill cultivation. So basically it's a scientifically managed one. Shifting cultivation को ही scientifically managed करके we are doing, right? So growing annual arable crops along with the forestry species during early years of establishment. ठीक है, आप आपके arable crops को और साथ में forestry tree species को एक साथ integrately on a piece of land you are growing. So this is a Tongia cultivation. So in this particular session, we had discussed about the farming system. Okay, farming system को हमने different basis पे categorize करके पढ़ लिया है. And aspirants, on Sunday we'll have MCQ session. We will cover 20 important MCQ. ठीक है, और in that part, I'll ask you MCQ from all these farming systems. So make sure you will revise this portion well. Okay. so that you will be able to answer all the 20 MCQs that we will discuss on the Sunday at 8 p.m. All right. So here I am ending our session for today. We'll meet in the next class. All the very best. और अपने doubts comment box में लिख दिया करो. Session कैसा लगता है वो भी comment box में लिख दिया करो. या और एक और चीज आई वांट टू टेल, या यू वर आस्किंग कि मैम पीडीएफ्स कहाँ पर मिलेगा इन द लास्ट सेशन. So for that, what you can do, you can join my Telegram channel. That is Varsha Dhiman. Okay, so you can join my Telegram channel, and there I'll provide you the PDFs. So if you're not getting the PDFs, or if you have any query regarding the classes or other things, you can ask there. I'll try to solve your problems there also. Okay. So for now, I'm ending the session. Bye bye and take care.